right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
Yes?
I don't know. I would...
This is Peter Thiel.
This is a long hesitation. This is a long hesitation.
There's so many questions implicit
Should
in
the
this.
human race survive?
Yes.
Okay.
But
He's been a major player in Silicon Valley for a long, long time.
I'm Peter Thiel. I build companies and I support people who are building new things, from social networks to rocket ships.
You might know him as the multi-billionaire who co-founded PayPal and Palantir, as Facebook's favorite space travel and the quest for immortality. Peter Thiel rejects the idea that death is inevitable. He wants to transform humanity.
transhumanism was this radical transformation where your human natural body gets transformed into an immortal body. We want you to be able to change your heart and change your mind and change your whole body.
But he also wants to change something else. For decades, Thiel has schemed from the shadows to reshape American politics.
Tonight, I urge all of my fellow Americans to stand up and vote for Donald Trump.
He bankrolled Trump's first campaign. He turbocharged J.D. Vance's career. Thiel openly questions the democratic system, and he's declared that to him, freedom is incompatible with democracy. His vision of an ideal society sounds more like an oligarchy, a country ruled by a few powerful, rich people. Or even just one. Today, his influence is rapidly expanding across the world. From the beginning of his career, he's been building tools to rewire how power works. Palantir, his brainchild, enables intelligence agencies and militaries to anticipate their enemy's next move before it's made. Maybe even your next move, too. None of this happened by accident. Peter Thiel plays the long game. He's patiently planned his moves for decades, always several steps ahead. So what does Peter Thiel actually want? What's his problem with democracy? And is there an end game? This video is largely based on the research collected in The Contrarian, Peter Thiel and Silicon Valley's Pursuit of Power by Max Chafkin. You'll find a link in the description. New York City, 2010. A TV show has set up a night for Peter Thiel to meet Garry Kasparov, one of the greatest chess players of all time. Thiel and Kasparov have met before and get along well. They like chatting about politics, technology, and of course, chess. Peter Thiel's a die-hard chess fan. In fact, he's a national chess master. He's admired the Grandmaster Kasparov since he was a teenager. And the respect is mutual. Kasparov admires Thiel's intelligence and business sense.
He's one of the probably most successful entrepreneurs of his generation. He's very aggressively investing. He looks for the future.
Thiel's legendary status in business is hard to overstate. His companies have created technologies that have changed the course of the modern world, and his influence helped define tech, an industry that has produced millions of jobs and trillions of dollars of wealth. That night, Kasparov and Thiel hit up a chess club. Thiel plays a game of speed chess with the owner and wins.
I'm totally embarrassed.
Yes.
I'm embarrassed as well.
It's 1996. The tech industry is booming. Silicon Valley is a place with endless possibilities, loads of investor money, and above all, unclear rules. Peter wants in. Sure, he can't really code, but he can hand that off on someone else. Peter studies up on hedge fund management, raises some capital, and reinvents himself as an investor. At the same time, he continues publishing anti-woke columns. One that claims indigenous Peoples Day is anti-Western winds up in the Wall Street Journal. By chance, Peter meets the brilliant young cryptographer Max Levchin. Max is obsessed with Palm Pilots, clunky little handheld computers. At the time, they're barely more than a calendar with an internet connection. Not all investors would listen to a 20-something jabber away about Palm Pilots. But Peter's not a typical investor. Max believes Palm Pilots will have way more potential if they can be linked to businesses. If personal devices were linked to a business's infrastructure, a whole new world of uses would open up, like connecting an individual directly with a bank. All someone needs to figure out is how to build an encrypted network that can securely link a handheld device with a corporate system, and Max believes he can do it. He is way ahead of his time, and Peter sees the potential immediately. He offers Max a $250,000 investment the very next day. Peter will become known for these big bets on inexperienced founders. Bets that very often pay off. On the surface, PayPal looks just like another convenient way to pay. But in reality, it was built on a radically libertarian vision. Money moving freely, beyond government control. The same vision that would later drive the crypto movement. And just like crypto, that freedom quickly attracts the gray areas of the economy. PayPal's early growth comes from industries most banks avoided, like gambling and NSFW stuff. Good thing Peter's been nurturing his political connections. As Chefkin tells it, Thiel worked to keep his business alive by lobbying Congress to keep online gambling legal and to stop PayPal from being treated as a national bank. We also asked Peter Thiel directly about this, but didn't get a response either. E-commerce is exploding in popularity. There's high demand for a tool that can simplify online transaction. And Max and Peter aren't the only ones working on a solution. PayPal isn't even the only online payment startup in the same building. There's a very similar company on the same floor. It's called X.com, and its founder has a lot in common with Peter. Most notably, Elon Musk is also an enterprising immigrant with roots in South Africa. Like Peter, he also shows little regard for traditional rules of the banking industry. Playing by every rule only slows down growth. But for a while, they have no idea what each other's companies are for. Until a PayPal employee finds a business plan for X.com in a dumpster. And then it becomes impossible to ignore each other. They become two of the biggest fish in the sea of online payments. PayPal's growing rapidly, but at the same time bleeding funds. Every new user gets a cash bonus, most transactions rack up fees, and servers are expensive. Worse, the anonymity that makes PayPal attractive also opens the door to credit card fraud, and PayPal would have to refund the victim's stolen money. Max left in response by building an anti-fraud system called Igor, software that flags suspicious patterns and blocks scam transactions. All the while, user anonymity is still preserved. Igor successfully curbs fraud by half of what it was. The FBI takes interest in the technology and starts using the software to catch money launderers. Still, PayPal isn't profitable. Peter thinks he knows the answer. It has to become a monopoly. Eliminate competitors, dominate the market, and set the rules. As Peter often puts it,
Competition is for losers. Competition is for losers. Competition is for losers.
This strategy will come to define Peter Thiel's success. He'll outline it in the business best-selling book 0 to 1, and it will become a guiding principle in the tech industry.
What I think everybody who is a founder or entrepreneur should aim to do is build a monopoly. And all the great companies that people have built are monopolies of one sort or another.
By 2000, the online payment space has grown more competitive, and PayPal is still operating at a loss. Elon suggests a merger, and Peter agrees. Uniting is their best chance for survival. According to The Contrarian, they clash from the start. Over the name, over the software. Elon becomes CEO because he's a bigger shareholder, but Peter allegedly can't stand his leadership. He's said to think Elon's a reckless egomaniac, and Elon is said to think Peter's a sociopath who only cares about money. Their battles stall the company's growth, so Thiel decides to end them. Elon goes on his honeymoon, leaving the CEO position undefended, and in an elegant, calculated move, Peter captures it. Levchin and others loyal to Thiel start voicing their gripes about Musk. They manage to convince enough board members to oust Musk and to insert Thiel as temporary CEO, a position he'll keep. It won't be Thiel's last tactical takedown. As CEO of PayPal, Peter Thiel is on a whole new playing field. In 2002, he secures a landmark deal. eBay acquires PayPal for $1.5 billion. Thiel becomes a multi-millionaire at 35 years old, walking away with at least $55 million from the deal. Now he has the capital and credibility to pursue his wildest dreams. The day he signs the deal is the day he also steps down as CEO. PayPal was just a stepping stone. Now he's ready to move on to bigger and bolder projects, and to live the high life as a very rich person. He buys a silver Ferrari and fancy apartments. Now the formerly bullied kid is the life of the party. More and more people want to be in his orbit. Thiel's personal trajectory is skyrocketing. but the country is spiraling. In the wake of 9/11, Americans also face a recession, an unpopular war, and widespread trauma. Teal is anxious too. He's increasingly concerned with the threat of religious terrorism. He finds the Bush administration isn't tough enough on Islam. His politics seem to shift. At Stanford, he wrote fiery libertarian essays railing against government power. Now he's arguing the opposite, that the US must use extrajudicial methods to catch terrorists. As he put it, outside the checks and balances of representative democracy as described in high school textbooks. For Teal, the trade-off is clear. The West must compromise. More security, less freedom. And he sees a business opportunity in it. What if Igor, the software Max Levchin built to catch fraudsters, could be retooled to catch terrorists? Wouldn't the CIA be interested? In 2003, Teal gets a team to start working on it right away. They'll call the company Palantir. In The Lord of the Rings, a Palantir is a mythical stone that sees and communicates across far distances. Sauron, the evil character who seeks to dominate Middle-earth, uses a Palantir to spy on enemies and conspire with allies.
The power of Isengard is at your command, Sauron, Lord of the Earth.
Basically, Teal is offering Sauron's power to anyone who can afford it. Palantir's promise? Use network analysis to find unforeseen patterns in vast troves of data. This is especially interesting to US intelligence agencies who had collected information on Al-Qaeda conspirators but failed to see the connections till after the attack. In the early years, many users are disappointed with Palantir's service, but their timing is excellent with everyone terrified of another attack. And Teal's chosen CEO is excellent at raising money. His name is Alex Karp. He's another former Stanford classmate. When Osama bin Laden is captured and killed, rumors circulate that Palantir was used to find him. Public interest in the company skyrockets. Based on what's known today about Palantir's abilities at the time, any meaningful involvement is questionable. When media outlets ask Alex Karp about that rumor, he's careful not to confirm or deny involvement. He tends to dodge the question with a smile and imply that some connection is there.
Did your company help to track and kill Osama bin Laden?
When you open the paper and look in the news about these kind of things, there's a 2/3 chance, depending on the country involved, that somehow my company was involved.
One media outlet isn't buying the hype. A gossipy blog called Gawker. According to Max Chafkin, Gawker's Silicon Valley page reports no real link between Palantir and the bin Laden raid, and suggests the company spread the rumor just to boost sales. Valleywag is known for roasting the tech industry back when most news outlets tend to sing its praises. And a favorite target is Peter Thiel. Thiel will take care of Gawker later. Beyond founding Palantir, Thiel spends the 2000s turning tech startups into giants.
I was the sort of first angel investor in Facebook in summer of 2004. The business was already tracking quite well. They only needed money to buy more computers. So I think that was always sort of a promising sign.
In 2004, he becomes Facebook's first big investor. Thiel not only funds the company, but becomes Zuckerberg's mentor. Now Zuckerberg is one of the richest people alive, and Thiel's investment will net him about $400 million. Thiel doesn't stop there. Through his network, he backs Airbnb, Spotify, SpaceX, and later OpenAI. In 2007, Thiel seems to have spotted the financial crisis early. He bets against the US housing market. The gamble pays off. A 60% return in just 6 months. Banks will collapse, and around 9 million Americans will lose their jobs. But for Thiel, it's cause for celebration. According to Chafkin, he flies his stuff to Maui, with unlimited tabs for food, booze, massages, and surfing. We asked Peter Thiel if this run doesn't last. After a string of bad investments and mass redemptions, his hedge fund suffers huge losses and all but collapses. By 2011, he will have lost nearly 2/3 of his clients' money. The crisis seems to make Thiel more cynical.